Hello, back again. I'm just going to show you how to add Picons to TVheadend if you're running a Libre setup. There's one thing you need to do is make sure you either have SSH or Samba turned on. You don't need both, you just need one or the other. Right, first thing we're going to do is download Picons. I'll put a link in the description to the website, which is openpicons.com. I'll just click on my link. We're going to be using hard link. So you've got a few options you can use. You've got sort of like dark on blue, dark on reflection. You can use any of them. It's entirely up to you. All depends what type of look you want. I normally use the 400 by 240 light on transparent. So I'm going to click on the link. And I'm going to save to my downloads. I'm just going to rename it to Picons before I download, and then click save. Doesn't take too long to download. For me it's only about 30 seconds. So you can use any of them. It's entirely up to you what sort of like look you want for your channel icons stroke Picons. And that's finished downloading. So I'll just close that down. I'm going to go into my downloads, and there's our file. We've got to unzip it first, so I'm going to right click and then extract to Picons. Then I'm going to go into that folder and do the same again. Extract to Picons. Then inside this folder we have another folder, and in there we have our Picons for all the different TV and radio channels from around the world. There's nearly 14,000 of them, which are all there. So I'll just close that down. Right, so we've unzipped the files. I'm going to show you now how to move them to the Raspberry Pi. And there's two methods, either SSH or Samba. I'll show you Samba first, so I'm going to go to my PC. And in the address bar at the top, you want to go // and then the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. Mine is 192.168.1.149. These are all the folders which are being shared via Samba. We want the folder called Picons, so I'm going to click on that, and then we want the folder TVH, so I'm going to select that one. What I'm going to do now is just snap it to the right. Just going to open up File Explorer, just snap that to the left. Going to go into downloads where the Picons are and go into the folder. So that's all my Picons. So I'm going to select all, and then I'm just going to drag to the right. Going to drag them into the TVH folder. This may take a little while to move them across. So now they're moving from my PC over to the Raspberry Pi. The thing I'll do, I'll speed through this a little bit and come back when it's finished. And that's finished copying the files across to the Raspberry Pi. Let me just maximize that and just close that down. Just maximize, close that down. I'll show you the second method of copying the files to the Raspberry Pi, this time via SSH. Right, this time we're going to be using a bit of software called WinSCP. I'll just start it up. We're going to create a new site. The host name is the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. So mine is 192.168.1.149. Username is root. And the password is a password you first set up when you set up Libre. And then I'm going to click save and OK. The thing I will do is click save password. I know it says not recommended. I'm going to tick the box and then OK. And then I'm going to log in. So on the right here, this is your Raspberry Pi. And as you can see again, we've got a folder called Picons. So I'm going to click on that. And the same again, we've got a folder called TVH. So I'm going to go into that folder or directory. On the left hand side, which is my PC, I'm going to go into users and then me. I'm going to go into my downloads and there's my Picons and Picons again. Just let it load. So these are all my Picons for my channels. So the thing I'm going to do, if I remember where it is, I'm going to select all. So they've all gone blue. And then I'm just going to drag them over to the right. Give it a few seconds and it'll start copying them across. The thing I'll do, I'll fast forward through this because it can take a little while. And that's all finished. So all the Picons are now copied over to the Raspberry Pi. So I can close that down. I'll just click yes. Now I'm going to log into the Raspberry Pi. Just going to open my browser and TVheadend. I'm just going to go into configuration. You want to make sure default view level is set to expert. Then I'm just going to scroll down and you want channel icon Picon settings. These should be filled out with the correct settings. If they're not, just match them. Just do the same as what they are. Alright. Right, now I'm going to go into channel stroke EPG. And the thing I'm going to do, down the bottom right hand side, you will see per page. I'm going to change it to all. And then just left click on the first one to highlight it or say to select it. Then scroll down to the bottom. Press the shift key, keep your finger on it. And then select the last one. So now they're all selected. Now what we're going to do is click on reset icons or reset icon, and then on the left you will see save. Just click that, give it a few seconds, and now you can see the user icons have changed over to storage Picons TVH and with all their names. So if I now go into electronic program guide, I'll just swap it over to now, and say if I click on BBC One, they've now got their Picons. I'll just check a couple: BBC Two, ITV, Channel 4 and Channel 5. I'll just close them down, and I'll just close TVheadend down. So that's how to add Picons to to TVheadend if you're using Libre as your backend. So as always, I hope this video's helped, and goodbye.
But something much more precious, that sense that violence has no place in American politics. Some of those invaders that day, like Josh Pruitt, continue to insist